Now it's time for public comment. I ask anyone who's in the audience that wishes to speak to come up to the microphone. Sign in, state your name and address for the record. I ask that speakers limit themselves to 2 minutes for their comments. Kevin will keep track of the time. At 2 minutes, he will raise his hand, and we ask that you wrap up your comments then. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments. The City Council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. So anyone who's in the audience that wishes to speak, now is your opportunity. Yes, sir.
Good evening, council members. Thanks for having me this evening. My name is Matt Senden. I'm at 2519 Stony Creek Drive. I'm here on behalf of myself and many other residents in relation to the East Side Corridor project. Avoid, minimize, and mitigate. We heard that at the last meeting. This is a preferred strategy that was communicated by the county engineer for construction projects in the area that impact citizens and businesses as outlined by MnDOT. As it pertains to the East Side Corridor, there seems to be no talk of avoidance whatsoever. 34th Avenue is obvious, as it's a ways away from the housing units. But based on some tabletop exercises, as the county says, they've ruled this out for the citizens of Owatonna, saying that 34th is too far away. But we'd like to know where the data is. Have there been documented interviews? Have there been studies? Where are these, and why are these not publicly available? Moving on to minimize. There also seems to be very little talk of that. Our officials seem to be hung up on a small swath of land right next to many backyards of a large established neighborhood of 150 homes. This highway project would literally be right next to homes. This is just one of many pictures. So this highway is being proposed where the residential street was planned, called 29th Avenue. Next up, mitigation. Occasionally this comes up, save for the fact that the assistant county engineer said that if it were up to him, no mitigations would be put in place for citizens who live nearby this road. So I'm here tonight to express my and others' frustrations that the East Side Corridor project seems far from following MnDOT guidance. Going back to avoid, though many city and county officials use the term 29th Avenue in place of East Side Corridor, 29th Avenue is a location. In fact, we just heard it tonight. But that's not been decided because nothing's been coming back from the studies yet. The county engineer mentioned multiple times that 29th Avenue is the preferred obvious route. But again, the studies aren't back, so why is this even an option?
Thank you,
Thank
sir. You. Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive, also here for the East Side Corridor. This is the data we have for the Beltline. Today's project is a new project. Safety and growth should be our priority. 25 years ago, we had hundreds of pages of data before we even considered one option. Today, we have a single page. We should be funding a corridor that offers the same security 29th Avenue offered 25 years ago. 34th Avenue is the 29th Avenue from a quarter of a century ago. We should at minimum be studying all of the impacts of this route. July 2022, the first public hearing about this project was held with a 2-day notice to residents. We were told it would be a 55-mile-an-hour road with no safety mitigations, a narrative maintained since. May 2023, a second open house was held where we were told all alternatives were still being considered, only for the county to move forward studying a single route. October 2023, residents reached out with numerous unanswered questions, and we were told that the previous data is for a beltline, and this project is not a beltline, and we can't look at this data. So let's remove that data. 44th Avenue is our beltline. It's incomplete. Where is the similar data for this project? A corridor, not a beltline. We have one piece of paper that has been removed from the county website. On the east side, an east side corridor is needed. How did we arrive at 29th Avenue? Tabletop exercises. We used to decide this information. We threw a dart at a wall, not data and studies. November 2023. The county engineer first learned there were homes in the right-of-way, 18 months after the first open house. Every previous plan for a beltline involved hundreds of feet between residents and a highway to comply with regulations, 800 feet for the map corridor. But those planning this project are just learning there are houses in the right-of-way. December 2023. All routes are being studied, but only the impacts of one route are being studied. Today we are funding a highway that we didn't do due diligence on, abandoned 2 decades ago, removed from the 2006 transportation plan, and continually dismissed affected residents. Land was not set aside, nor was it preserved.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak this evening?
Good evening. Brent Meyer, Owatonna Chamber of Commerce. Just a couple of quick comments. 2023 was a big year for Owatonna. Thank you for all the work that you've done. These TIF projects, the delayed gratification of TIF come to fruition. Obviously, we've got Irish piece. We've got many more, I think, coming down the road in many years. So thanks for continuing to approve that as an economic development tool. I think it's been an important piece of the puzzle for the community. It was pretty exciting to be at CDI for the ribbon cutting today. Just one more great story in the economic development story of Owatonna, so to speak. So exciting, and I'm glad that the partnerships that we all have are making this work. So thanks for your part in all of this. It's a big piece of the puzzle. Thanks for decreasing the budget. As you know, that was something the business community was asking for. Like Nate said, we all want what we want for levels, but we appreciate the work that goes into that and to reducing it. You may or may not have known the Chamber did submit a letter of support for the East Side Corridor project as part of the grant submittal through Steele County. Obviously, it doesn't delineate a location, which is obviously what some of the others were talking about. Our board really encouraged at our meeting to just ensure that the process is followed, right? Just follow the process the right way throughout this. And so we're excited about that particular road project. I think that's going to be an important piece of the plan. So thanks for your work on all those things. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Anna, you're looking pretty festive. You sure you don't want to come up?
I can send you the link later.
Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Bert, come on.
Okay. I'll hurry.
Okay.
You're good.
They're not going to be able to do the overhead levels, so they'll have to see that for you.
I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to sit down. Gary Jones, and N5 Ridge Road. I have terrible thoughts about the Owatonna archery deer hunt and the deer collisions in Owatonna. You've seen this map before. It is deer collisions in Owatonna over the past 5 years. I put this together about a year ago with the Owatonna Police Department information and updated it for 2023. The dots on this map are deer collisions within the city of Owatonna. The yellow dots are collisions that happen during the months of the Owatonna archery hunt. Red dots are deer collisions the rest of the year. There were 55 deer collisions over the last 5 years in Owatonna, only 11 per year, in 55 deer in 30 to 45 mile per hour zones. This is actually a low count compared to Rochester, which has seen over 200 deer collisions per year. Yet deer collisions are a primary reason for the Owatonna hunt. Owatonna's deer collisions centered around the north side by 26th Street. Interestingly, Kaplan's Woods has by far the most hunters, the most deer, and the most damage, but only 3 collisions in the past 5 years within 4 blocks of the park. Look at the graph on the second page. And when you take all of the deer collisions for 5 years and average it per month, January has only 0.8 deer collisions per year. 0.6 in February, 0.6 in March, 0.4 in April. We're talking very small numbers here until you get to the average for October and November, which triple during the months of the Owatonna archery deer hunt. Yet when you send 4 archers into the large herd at Kaplan's, there's less than 1 deer collision per year within 4 blocks of Kaplan's. That's because they have 225 acres, and when someone marches into their environment and they scatter, they have room to do it within the boundaries of the park. Look at where our neighboring cities hunt. Hormel Nature Center in Austin, 530 acres. Carlton Nature Center in Northfield, 800 acres. Riverbend in Faribault, 743 acres. Rasmussen Woods in Mankato, 180 acres. These cities are not hunting next to playgrounds and homes. Now take our pint-sized parks like Mineral Springs, 3.2 huntable acres, and only 1.4 huntable acres at Manthey. Send the bull hunters into their environment and send the deer scattering, where do they go? Look at the map. They take off running into and out of their habitat, up into residential neighborhoods, Mineral Springs Road, North Cedar, 26th Street, right into traffic and into my map. I think this recreational hunt may be creating a hazard and contributing to our own deer collisions. I'll be back with more ideas in January. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak this evening? If not, then we'll move on to council comment. And first up tonight is Dan.
2 things for all the residents of Owatonna. On Gary's urging, I spent a little bit of time in both Manthey and Mineral Springs Park, and they're just wonderful additions to the city of Owatonna. You know, in an urban area to have an acre or 2 or 3 of woods and trails, it's really phenomenal. And I urge you to, all residents, get out there and enjoy the parks. It's incredible what we have here in Owatonna. The second thing is, this last week or so, we've gotten some awful nice comments in the Minneapolis paper throughout the state of Minnesota about our Cedar Street development. This all happened before I was on board, but there's some folks that were really on the forefront with this. It's Mr. Klecker, Mr. Rainey, Mr. Schultz, Ms. Pussy, Mr. Kruschke, who were at the front of this, that I'm sure caught a lot of grief and a lot of heat, a lot of naysayers out there. I would think that the way this has turned out, there would be hard pressed to find anyone nowadays that would say, boy, what a mistake we made with Cedar Street. It's been incredible, and thanks for the foresight that you folks had, and I'm sure there's others. So.
Thank you, Dan. Kevin.
Nothing this evening.
Brent.
Nothing this evening.
Doug.
Yes, I'd just like to mention that I had a great opportunity today to go to the grand opening of CDI. Councilman Boakey was there, Mayor Coons. Chris was there, and it was an amazing event. Boy, he's done a great job. Tom has been a member of our EDA board. We appreciate all his help with that, and it's just a great investment in our city. So I appreciate that, and Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Doug. Nate.
I would like to express my condolences to the Hall family. Some of you may know Mark Hall. He was on the city council well before I was on the council, but he was a mentor and gave me some of the ins and outs of what it means to be a council member. So he died about a week and a half ago. He will be missed, but I appreciate the wisdom and guidance he was able to give me. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Nate. Dave.
Just Merry Christmas to everybody.
And the mayor.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
All right, Chris.
All I'd like to say is, as I reflect back on the year 2023, I think we've made great strides, great progress. I'm very proud of city staff, council, and what we've done this year, and I just want to thank our staff for all of their hard work and dedication, and thanks to the council for supporting us.
Thank you, Chris. And this is our last meeting for the year, 2023. Our next meeting will be January 2nd of 2024, so it's been a wild year. We've got a lot accomplished, and it's been a good year. So I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everyone. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Nate, do I hear a second?
Second.
I'm sure there's no discussion, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?